Welcome back to our new video of the immunological series, and today we are going to study about the types of antigen. In our earlier video we study about the antigen, its characteristics and the structure of antigen, and today we are going to study about the types of antigen. So antigens are classified on the basis of their origin and their immunogenicity. So let's see. Antigens can be grouped into different types based on different factors, and some of the common classifications are based on the origin of the antigen and its immunogenicity. And the antigens are classified on the two major categories, and on the basis, first is on the basis of origin and second is on the basis of the immune response. So we are going to see these both type one by one. Let's see the first type. The types of antigen on the basis of origin. And we all know that the antigen origin may be in two types. One is exogenous or maybe endogenous. And these two origin affect the immunogenicity in the person. So if the antigen is exogenous, it comes from external source, and the endogenous antigens are internal, produced by the other parasite. So let's see these two types one by one. First we are going to see about the exogenous antigen. So exogenous antigens are the antigen that are originated outside the body of the host and thus are the foreign to the host. So these exogenous antigens are those antigen which are come into our body through inhalation, ingestion may be orally or other different sources, or by the wounds, and many other routes of entry of this exogenous antigen is there, and the antigen circulate in our body through body fluids. But the question remains that how our body detect this exogenous antigen, and we are very good at the our animal physiology, our whole body physiology. So we know about the macrophages, dendritic cells, and these are the system of our body that the macrophages detect these exogenous antigen, dendritic cell detect it, and phagocytosis process goes on. So exogenous antigens are detected by these cells. But many antigen like intracellular viruses might begin as a exoantigen. Remember student, these viruses enter as a exoantigen, but after entering the body they change their function and act like an endogenous antigen and confuse our immune system. But our immune system is not full, it always have a memory cell, so it can detect it easily. Let's see the second, endogenous antigens. Endogenous antigens are antigen that originate within the body of the host and during metabolism or as a result of intracellular, viral or bacterial infections. But the question remains that how these endogenous antigens are secreted by this pathogen. They have different mechanism. When our body defense mechanism work, these antigen, these parasites or these viruses, bacteria secrete different exotoxin, and these exotoxin are also acts as an endogenous antigen. But these are usually processed by the cytotoxic T cells. Our body have different type of T cells, and these cytotoxic T cells in the immune system, they detect it. But the endogenous antigen include different types of heterologous, autologous and idiotypes, and these idiotypes are allogenic or different types in nature. An endogenous antigen might be result in the autoimmune disease. But students, you are thinking how this endogenous antigen will lead to the autoimmune disease, because some endogenous antigen become the autoantigens, and these autoantigen, when they go in further differentiation, our body doesn't differentiate it as a self cell, it differentiate it as a foreign, and then the first step of the autoimmune disease produce. So it is another topic, but I little bit explain it. So let's see the second type based on the origin. We see the based on the origin. Second type is based on the immune response. So in the immune response category, they are subdivided into two types: complete antigen and incomplete antigen. And we all know that the complete antigen we called as immunogens, and the incomplete antigen is heptens. Let's see it one by one. Complete antigens or immunogens are the antigens that elicit a specific immune response. Remember student, the complete antigen elicit a specific immune response. Why? Because in earlier lecture I explained that the molecular size of the antigen plays a very important role, and the molecular size of the antigen should be more than 5000 Dalton or 10,000 Dalton, and this size vary to antigen, and the chemical nature of antigen also affect. So the chemical nature we studied earlier, that the antigens chemical in nature are protein, polysaccharides and nucleic acid, and these make a complete antigen. And in part of protein they may contain different type of heterologous amino acid which increase their immunogenicity. And all these feature, all five feature we studied earlier, and these five feature make a antigen a complete antigen. And a complete antigen when enter our body elicit a very high immune response, and this high immune response leads to production of high amount of antibody. Let's see the second one. The second one is the incomplete antigen or heptens. Earlier you heard the name heptens, but you are little bit confused. But in this lecture I am going to explain about the heptens, which are also called as incomplete antigen. And these heptens cannot generate an immune response by themselves. But why? And this why means they lack the proper molecular size. They are less than 5000 Dalton, and this size leads to them very less immunogenic. But these heptens can be made immunogenic and complete antigen by a carrier, and this carrier help the heptens to become a complete antigen and increase their size. And when the size is increased, they become a antigen or immunogen. And these heptens can be of different types. In every exposure to the antigen, the heptens are of different sizes, but the low size they became hepten. And but if you have to in some vaccine productions, if you have trigger an immune response, the immunogens or antigens are hepten or small molecular size in nature, then they have been attached with a high molecular size molecule, a carrier, and these hepten become an antigen. Let's see another different type of antigens. As I earlier discussed about the autoantigens. What are autoantigens? Autoantigens are proteins or protein complexes of the host that are attacked by the host immune system, resulting in autoimmune disease. Yes students, it leads to autoimmune disease, and this autoimmune disease can be deadly to the host because our own immune system is attacking our own cell. And the best example of autoimmune disease is arthritis, and the second example is myasthenia gravis. You already know these diseases, and you are better studied these diseases in your subjects. But the question remains that this immunological tolerance, how the autoantigen affect, this is leads by the immunological tolerance. And when the immunological tolerance to such antigen is lost, means the immunological tolerance is lost, then the autoimmune diseases have been developed. And this autoantigen plays a very important role in developing an autoimmune disease. Remember student, autoantigen are linked to autoimmune disease. Let's see the second part, the tumor antigen. They are also called as neoantigens. Tumor antigens or neoantigen are presented by major histocompatibility cells or MHC complex 1 and 2. And on the surface of this tumor cell, they are also expressed by the tumor inducing cells, and these antigen are produced as a result of the cancer or tumor formation is there. And these antigen usually do not induce any immune responses unless or until the tumor formation is there, because these tumor have a less antigen presenting cell, but even through our body cells like T cell differentiate it and express it. The last type of antigen is the native antigen. The native antigen are antigens that are not processed by any antigen presenting cell, because the cells think that it is our native to our body, it is self. But however, some B cells of our body can differentiate it and trigger an immune response. So students, that's all with my lecture. Today we see the different type of antigens. The antigens, we see the antigens on the basis of their origin, exogenous and endogenous. Second, on the basis of immune response, complete and incomplete. And don't forget these three: autoantigen, tumor antigen, and third, the native antigen. I hope you will enjoy the lecture, and thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. If you have any doubt or difficulty, comment me in the comment box. Thank you.